Alright, here we go. Counting down to 4, 3, 2, 1. Game number 1 between Pursuit and Kartel in our happy little clan war between DLife Club and Legion of the Fallen Academy up here at Dusk Towers. The first one, Terran versus Terran. It's going to be two Marines shooting directly across from each other, just like that. We're going to get one guy over here, and he's all like, oh, my bullets are going to shoot right at your little chamber. And Marine number 2 over here, they're actually, they're a little mad because they both came dressed in the exact same cosplay outfit to the con. So then they just aim their bulletless guns at each other. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is get rid of that, get the nameplates up here, see a little bit of defense. So up here, actually no, down on the bottom left of Dusk Towers, we have Pursuit for DLife. Here is right there with the beginnings of the GLHF. And up here on the top right-ish side of Dusk Towers, we've got Kartel playing for the Legion of the Fallen Academy. Don't say League, don't say League, don't say League. I might zoom out ever so slightly here, as I am prone to do, but that means that I can still do a little twisty thing. Like, wah, 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 wah. Okay, I'm going to try to stay far, far away from most of the dubstep references, but the first thing that Kartel's going to do is put a supply depot here at the top of the ramp, and in fact, what Pursuit is doing is keeping all of the buildings on the inside of the main part of the base, so away from the ramp here, which I would assume is sometimes... see, this is why I wish Apex were here. Apex usually comes in and tells me what is actually happening. What I assume to be happening from this, not being a big TVD player, because I was a Protoss player before I actually didn't play all that much at all anymore, is when you keep your base really close to your main building like this, you're kind of worried. You're not worried, but you're just playing a little bit more defensively, where this is a bit more of a push and possibly a wall off, but TVT, don't worry too much about that because the Doom Drop can happen. There I am again. I'm going to try not to talk too much about what might be happening or could be happening. I'm just going to be telling you what is happening. And what is happening right now is Kartel is moving his SCV, and he's just come down here for a quick little look. And we're going to have a look at Kartel's view, where it comes into view, and the first thing he sees is all the buildings right there all squeezed together. So, boom. And in fact, what is also happening is Pursuit is gathering gas off of both of his Vespene geysers, where Kartel only has one of the Vespene geysers being mined at the moment. Do you mine gas? Do you what is it you do? Okay, fine. Fine, Pursuit. We get it. You vape. We get it. That's just perfectly fine. So the next thing that Kartel's going to get down is the second supply depot. So starting work on the supply, where both players are actually approaching that 22-23, the old 23 cap. Now going to pop a reactor down on the side of Kartel's barracks, but Pursuit moving straight to the factory, and in fact immediately getting out the first Hellion, and then going into a starport. So this, of course, oh my god, what was it? It was the Cloud Fist, what did Husky used to call this way back in the day? It was the Cloud Fist Destiny, Cloud Fist Destiny build or something like that. The Reaper for Kartels is moving his way in, had a quick little poke, and actually got scared off by the Reaper itself. So if you look at the army supply, it's actually pretty hot in favor of Pursuit, who has two Reapers and a Hellion moving across. And if they meet up with this Reaper over here, nope, Kartel's Reaper is deciding to go to the other side of this cool little green crystal statue right here in the middle of the map. But in the meantime, these units are really moving fast enough. So Pursuit's units, the Hellion moves just as fast as the Reaper, and they're all quite quick. There's one Reaper on its way in here to Kartel's base, but nope, did not last long enough. And meanwhile, down here, Pursuit has moved his units, and he's actually come in because, oh my goodness, Kartel's supply depot was down, so Pursuit is able to just run straight in. So all that work to have that wall in right at the very top for Kartel has just paid off with absolute naught. And meanwhile, all the SCVs are running their birthday cakes around, and just 3 units are just decimating this. I don't know how many kills we're getting out of this. I'll have to look in just a minute, but it looks like it's going to be 9 workers killed now already for the price of only 2 or 3. How many units killed? Well, 5, but I was kind of coming through the different ways. But Kartel was able to get out a number more units there at the same time as also being pretty cool and calm and collected about this. It's the worker supply is actually a little bit ahead for Pursuit now. So Pursuit got a number more SCV kills there, but did manage. But Kartel is now working on the command center. So for the next expansion, Just getting a few more SCVs out there at the same time. We got the tech lab on the end of the factories. Cloak is just finishing up for Pursuit right now. There's going to be a couple of Banshees across here, I think. I think we've got, yep, one Banshee up here at the top. Coming in at the exact same time. The Cloak is almost finished in 3, 2, 1. Boom. There, now it goes. And so now he's going to Cloak and begin to start picking up all of these units. But there goes the scan from Kartel, so we can see him immediately. And I think this Banshee might get picked up. But at the same time, oh, he did have a Hellion. Pursuit did have a Hellion just here at the front of the base, so he was trying to do both at the same time, where maybe a little bit of a pick-off from the Banshee back here, being invisible, but the Hellion doing a little bit of a pick-off at the front at the same time. But I don't think it's going to get in here all that far. If a little bit of a poke with the Hellion at the beginning might have switched up the troops, but I think, maybe it's possible that Pursuit just did not have all the units running at the same time. And there is this lowered SCV thing. I'm almost starting to worry that maybe Pursuit's got some sort of hack, or he's got some guy in the inside, one of these SCVs running around with the birthday cakes, but just a number more kills is going to happen here with this Hellion until these Marines get in the way. But for whatever reason, now the Marines have all moved up because the second Cloaked Banshee has moved over to start killing a number of more of these units, and there's 3 kills right now for this Hellion down here. So now just picking away one at a time from one side to the other is Pursuit, just continuing doing that, still pumping out. There's another siege tank and the third Banshee, but Kartel was able to get 2 missile turrets, one in both of the mineral fields for both of his bases. And when speaking of bases, Pursuit is now double expanding now two command centers out at the same time. But here comes a Hellion from Kartel on his own, so it's just fast-moving units going back and forth, but this is not going to last very long against 2 tanks. He's going to take one more chip away at this command center and not lose. No, he's not going to lose the unit, which is a really sweet move there. There's one Banshee moving to the right-hand side of Kartel's base, and the second of Pursuit's Banshees is moving to the left-hand side of the base. And so now there goes the Cloak thing, just barely outside of range. If you could see the range of this missile turret, will probably come just to the edge here, and then doing the exact same thing over here, not even bothering to Cloak with the one down at the bottom. And now here comes the Cyclone, is getting repaired at the same time. So Pursuit was able to maintain a couple of units there, cloaking to get out of there. There's another scan by Kartel, so he can see the unit, but he's just staying outside of range of those Marines. So right now, it does seem like, I think, maybe a little bit of air defense on par for Kartel, but I think he's realizing that he's able to hold off this attack right now from Pursuit without having to spend too much into the frame of Vikings or Liberators, who would maybe be able to be a little bit stronger. So he's going to stick with a ground defense for now, it seems, despite the fact that he's also got the, other than the obvious missile turret, obviously, as he said. But now 3 bases for both, as the third base for Kartel is just now moving into place. And if you look at the army supply, it's still very, very even. The worker supply is a little bit ahead in for Pursuit, and the supply, they're actually both supply blocked at the moment. And just sort of driving around as Kartel, just trying to see if maybe he's going to spot a 4th base or a 3rd base that expanded in a specific direction. But I think it's just going to, everyone's going to cluster together. So they're playing a little bit safe right now. I have to think, where despite the fact that Pursuit is pushing out and he is making a few, I wouldn't say bold attacks against Kartel, just very systematic attacks and just kind of poking away, seeing where maybe a weakness might be, but at the same time leaving a very solid kind of defense and army back at the base here. So once again, going to go with the 1-2 Banshees. It's up to 3 bases now, so he might need a little bit more than that. There's no missile turret here. There it is. There is a missile turret here in the 3rd base already. I missed that being built. But this one Banshee is going to cloak and still try to get a couple of kills. 8 kills already right there. And this one is not going to cloak in time, I don't think. And it's going to get popped off and does get hit by the scan. This Banshee is going to get a couple more kills, but really just picking off a couple of Marines at a time. It's annoying, but I'm not sure how fully effective it is in the long run or the grand scheme of winning this game. And if you look at the army supply right now, it does still seem that Pursuit is a little bit ahead here, but at this point, Kartel should be able to see. There's one more SCV just pop down. So this Banshee is still just being a little bit of a turd, kind of getting all up in Kartel's sunscreen with a fistful of sand, as the idiom goes. I'm quite sure we're all aware. Here's this Marine. He's just chilling. He's good. He's happy. He's hanging out. Going on a little vacation. Speaking of sunscreen and sand, getting up in your swimsuit. There is no sand in that Marine swimsuit because he's just waiting. There is a little bit of sand in this Hellion swimsuit because he has decided to run it all over the place. No, I don't know what that means. But now moving across the map, it's just another little bit of a scout. Kartel is still checking this out because, again, remind yourself that this is a clan war, and you don't really know what the other player is capable of or what the other player is ready to do. So you try to match things up as best you can as far as skill level goes, and just sort of say, gold for gold, plat for plat. But since there's such a huge discrepancy of talent amongst most of those, then really all Kartel is doing is just wondering, am I up against someone who's doing a lot of expands? Am I up against someone who's going to play this game in that method? But this is going to be a combat shield versus a non-combat shield, so I'm rooting for the guy with the giant plate metal in front of his face to deflect some of the bullets. But there's Pursuit is now going to move the entirety of his map, and he's got, the sieged tanks are within. Can I load the... No, can't double-click and load the siege tanks themselves. This Hellion is still just hanging out on the left-hand side of the map. There doesn't appear to be anything further there, but now we're going to see the drop, probably the drop of the siege tanks and the move forward of the units behind that. But no, there's going to be a boost to move the siege tanks almost up to the top, and that didn't quite work. I'm not sure if Pursuit was aiming for the top of that, but I think, there we go. So he was aiming to leave the siege tanks down at the bottom so they couldn't be rushed by the SCVs, and now he's dropping the Marines up here at the top. So it is kind of a doom drop, but on a ledge of a doom drop, and now he's got enough of these Marines that he's going to be able to hopefully heal as he moves in and just sort of hangs back. Does a pretty safe maneuver here. Would like to move, maybe ladder a few more units up here, and there we go. There's a number more units on their way up. I think we got a Hellion in there somewhere. Nope, it was another tank. Oh, I see. So a siege tank fills it the entire way. See, these are things that I should know. But at this point, it does seem like there's a really good maneuver right in, and here comes the stim with about six or seven of these medevacs at the end there, and Kartel is moving all of his units in, and he's trying to stim as well, but it's just not enough, and it was with the backup of the tanks. That was where... Why am I not doing anything? Get me through. Get me through. The backup of the tanks allowed the Marines to push through, and even with the Marines and the tanks were just slightly outside. Not sniping Marines, just weakening for medevacs to heal. Okay, I think I see what you're saying. But, thanks for the feedback on that one. But, sunscreen with a fistful. Olive in his swimsuit with a fistful of sand. See, I'm telling you. And yeah, what I saw happening there was there was too strong of a push there by Pursuit. That's one game up. And I believe, do I need to get out of anything? I don't think so. GG both. Congrats, Pursuit, on game one. Now, here's the thing that I should probably check on. Best of 3, BO5. I'm unsure. I want to be sure before I start saying things out loud, which I'm doing currently right now. I'm watching the 2-minute delay over here. You guys are way behind. Okay, and they're getting ready for not just best of 1. Oh, matches are already predetermined. So that is game one and series 1. So that is Pursuit takes the first game on Dusk Towers. Oh, right, because it's on the one map. So bleh. Probably should have figured that out. Probably should have figured that